Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Do you believe you could legally declare them terrorist organizations and use the military to go after cartels?
Well, look, ever since I gave the speech at the RNC, I've had numerous death threats from the cartels against me and my family. And matter of fact, my family isn't with me right now because of the death threats. But, President Trump has promised that he would designate them terrorist organizations. And I believe he should, and he will. And the reason why they should be designated terrorist organizations, the criminal cartels of Mexico have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. I just said, 250,000 Americans dying from fentanyl poisonings, and up to 4,000 aliens have died crossing the border. President Trump is committed to doing it, and I think he should, because the cartels are a national security threat to this country. You're getting a fentanyl from China. The precursors, they send it to the criminal cartels. The cartels make this poison and send it across the border. The border violence is now coming across into the United States. The criminal cartels of Mexico is like a Fortune 500 company. I mean, the Jalisco cartels is in 42 countries now. These criminal cartels that smuggle this poison over across the border, it used to be about smuggling into the United States. Now they have a presence in every major city of this country. Now they're taking over the distribution network within the United States. They need to be attacked. They need to be wiped out. Absolutely.
Interesting. Hey, what's going on, family? This is Tyler from No Picks Podcast.
Joe, No Picks Podcast.
You know what, Joe? This whole immigration debate, I never even really thought about the how the cartels, send stuff up here and you know what I mean, the fentanyl and the drugs and all that stuff. Never really even crossed my mind, to be honest with you. Or it was like way low on the list for me. And they're talking about it in the sense of being like a national security issue, and these people are a terrorist organization. I think that's an interesting way of looking at it, and it's like even more scary, bro. Like, if in my opinion, what you think about with the new soon to be border czar Tom Holman had to say.
So, just to be clear, who are we trying to label as terrorist organizations? Like, what
He was saying,
specifically?
like the organizations linked to the people organizations linked to the cartels.
Okay, any organizations linked to the cartel who are either smuggling contraband or weapons or arms sales and stuff like that, fentanyl. I mean, it's like part of me wants to be like, well, yeah, that makes sense, because they're a part of gangs and they're doing all this illegal activity, racketeering, arms sales, fentanyl, all that's getting into the country. It would make sense. I just don't know what kind of precedent it's going to set when he starts doing that, because I don't know how loosely we're going to start labeling certain organizations as terrorist organizations, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
And it's also hard because we've had this like war on terrorism, but it's like, how do you go to war on terrorism? Like, a war on terrorism will never end because you could never kill terrorism. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like it just creates this perpetual state of just violence and war and just money being thrown into this. So I mean, I don't. How do you feel about the labeling and all this stuff? Like, I can expand on what I just said, but like, how do you feel?
I mean, I think in some cities, it's more prevalent than others. Like, I hear a lot about California. I hear a lot about Denver. I mean, I hear a lot about LA. I hear a lot about Denver.
Like the border states.
The border states, yeah. So it's probably like, I'm sure if we were there, we would have like a whole different, outlook on it, because like we probably know people that did X, Y, and Z. We kind of get like the residual effects of it. We see people passing out from fentanyl on the streets, and we kind of just like, well, I mean, they drug addicts, so F it. But I think when you add the violence part, because the violence part is important as far as like, maintaining your stronghold in this business, obviously, right? So, yeah, I think when you have a bunch of people over here committing violence in order to make this money, then yeah, I mean, it's scary, because like regular, I mean, they're not going to be like, all right, hold up, guys, taxpaying American citizen is in the way, let's chill. Like, they're gonna, what I mean? Like, whatever they gonna do in front of you and behind you. They're not gonna care about the collateral damage, and we might be the collateral damage. So, but yeah, no, I mean, listen. I think this dude is hardcore, but I think it's warranted, bro. Like, I think Americans, which is part of the reason why Trump won so you know what I mean, in the way that he did. So like, he blew Kamala out, but a lot of this is the issue with people feel unsafe, bro. Like, people want to start feeling safe again. People feel You know what I mean? Like, even if it's not connected to the cartels, they're like, bro, there's all these people in this country. We don't know who the heck they are. Like,
Mhm.
it's an issue. It's scary, right?
Mhm.
So
No,
people want to feel safe, and this dude kind of gives you a sense of that. He's like, listen, we kicking them all out, bro, and he's not playing favorites about this. He
yeah.
he had an interview. I forget who it was with. Had to be, no, you know what? It was with AOC. She was talking to him on some kind of meeting, or whatever, and it was on TV. And when they on the bench, I don't even know, it's some kind of hearing, whatever, judiciary hearing. And she's asking him like, well, how do you square the fact that, because he's for mass deportation. He's like, listen, we gotta, his stance is, listen, let's put all these illegals on a bus or a plane and get them the hell back to their country. That's his stance. He's like, yo, we need to get them out of here. They shouldn't be here. They need to go. Right. So she asked him, well, how do you account for how do you account for splitting up families? Like, so say the mom and dad are not from here, but the daughter or the son is from here, and they have a social security card, they have a, what I mean, they're an American citizen. He said, well, they don't have to be separated if they don't want to be. You could just put them all on the same together and send them home. And he was like, that'll fix the whole, you know what I mean? Oh, well, you're ripping up families. No, they can all leave together. The American citizen, I guess, can come back whenever they want, whenever they grow up and whatever. He's still a citizen, or she's still a citizen. But he's like, no, they can all go home together. We ain't got to split nobody up. I'm for it. Like, and she was just like kind of like rolling her eyes and all that stuff. And he's like, listen, I want to keep families together too. It was like,
Send them all
so
back. I mean, it would
right.
seem more. It would seem like the more humane thing would be to send the kids back with the parents so that they're at least together, right? So that for me makes more sense than like leaving a child here in America while the parent, gets deported back home, and then that child ends up in the foster care system or some kind of weird immigration system. So I think send them all, if it's gonna happen. I'd rather them all go back together, right? But I want to add, I want to say, Charlemagne the God was on this podcast a few days ago, and he said something really interesting that I kind of agreed with, and he was just like, listen, Trump's in office now, Trump's going to be in office, he won. He was like, and I'm not going to wish him, he's like, I don't want him to do bad. He was just like, I didn't vote for him. I didn't want him to be in office. I'm worried about what he might do. He was like, but I'm not going to wish
Right.
him any wrong because he's going to govern our country. He's going to be the POTUS. Like, why would I want him to crash? Why would I want him to fail at leading our country? He's like, it doesn't make any
Right.
sense. He's like, even if I'm not a Republican or a conservative, I don't want him to fail our country because then we all suffer, right? So I say that to say, whatever happens with the crisis in 2025, I really hope that Trump comes through with all the promises he made to make the border safer, to make Americans feel safer, to do something about the immigration crisis, right? To make to get a handle on it. But I wish him the best in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm trying to say is I didn't vote for the bull, but like, I don't want him to fail. Like, I want
Yeah.
Trump to succeed. He's governing. He's going to be running our country. I want him to succeed in all these endeavors, especially this immigration crisis, which has been huge. And the buses have already started. They're already putting people on buses in New York, ready to send them back. The immigrants, like they're ready to ship them out already. So this might be happening sooner than we thought.
Right. Right. It's the most, like, I hate this whole immigration issue. This is another thing that kind of pushed me away from the Democrats. You and I have talked about this 1,000 times. But
Mhm.
yo, y'all look like such hypocrites. Y'all look like such hypocrites because all y'all said for years and years and years, ever since I was born in 1988, yo, all these people coming from across from the southern border, let them stay here. All they want is a better life. You guys are xenophobic. You guys hate immigrants. We're a country of immigrants.
Uh,
All this stuff, right? I believed it myself. I was like, yo, these white racist Republicans are scumbags. All they want to do is just take away from the brown man, take away from the black. Well, I guess in this issue, but it's just the brown man, right? Take away from the brown man and woman, and that's just so messed up. Whatever. Until they started sending their asses to the sanctuary cities. When that happened, the whole game changed. Chicago is in $1 billion deficit coming next year. Talking about they trying to raise property taxes $300 million
isn't that
because
crazy?
they need money to help them pay for this immigration stuff.
That's crazy.
They need money for everything, but immigrate. They spent what $300 million on the migrants last year, and they're so committed to it. And now they're trying to raise taxes just enough to pay for what they spent on a migrant crisis. Same thing with New York. We remember
Yeah.
our man Eric Adams when Governor Greg Abbott, started sending the migrants in buses and planes and trains and stuff. I feel like Dr. Seuss. He started sending them all types of ways. He's on TV, look like he about to cry, talking about this will ruin New York, right?
Yeah.
The mayor of Denver, his name is Johnston. His last name is Johnston, white guy. He's like, yo, he didn't talk as much as what's his name did, Eric Adams did, but he started implementing policies that's like, listen, we can't have y'all in there. Now we'll pay for y'all to go to another sanctuary city, but we can't have y'all in there. That just was on the hush hush because he didn't want that out in administration because they're a sanctuary city, but they don't have the money. None of these cities have the money to say, hey, here, bring it. Even Chicago's trying to make it more difficult, right? Chicago's trying to make it more difficult. The liberal governor of Massachusetts was on a news talking about hey, we have all these migrants here. Could you guys, open your homes to some of these migrants? Like, would that be? You know what I mean? You remember that they were like, can you have a family of strangers come in your crib and just live there indefinitely, and we'll give you some money for helping us out with this.
Yeah.
So it's just like y'all like all these sanctuary cities were so like high and mighty, and all the Democrats were so high and mighty and feeling themselves and on a high horse, talking about how racist these white Republican Southern states are, until they started having to deal with the problem they goddamn self, and then they realized, yo, this is a problem that's impossible to deal with. Even my man had an interview on CNN. Tom Holman, the new border czar, he was talking to, I think, the black chick, Abby Phillips, right? Mm-hmm. She was like, listen, there are some estimates out there that it's going to cost like $88 billion a year to send these people back, to their home country. And he was like, is that the number? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of irrelevant to me, but like he doesn't care. To his point, yo, it's going to cost more for them to stay here because you have to pay for everything in their life. You have to pay for their healthcare. You have to pay for their food. You have to pay for their housing. You have to pay for them to be okay. So that's going to be more than $88 billion.
Right.
So yeah. So no matter what the number is, right? Just like Greg Abbott and them, when they were sending them on one-way tickets to other cities, it was a financial winner for them because no matter how much money it costs, now that's a problem they don't have to deal with anymore.
Right. No, that's true. That's so true. And family, stay tuned because we got an episode coming up. By the time you see this, you might already have seen the episode, but we talked about how much the U.S. spent in the billions on undocumented immigrants in this country versus how much they spent, say, on veterans or or just American citizens. And like the amount of money they've spent on the immigration, on the undocumented immigrants is insane in comparison to what the kind of relief Americans are getting. Like this has definitely become a huge issue. So, oh Lord have mercy, Ty. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in 2025, man. I just hope that we have some kind of relief soon, bro. Nothing justifies taking money, giving money to undocumented immigrants that could have went to like Americans who need it, who are homeless, who are starving, who are struggling. Nothing justifies it, bro. It's never a good look when you have your own citizens struggling, but you're giving out all this free money to people who came here, illegally. You can't justify it,
bro. Like, I don't want to make this any longer, but another thing, all these democratic cities, Chicago, not New York. New York isn't on this type of time. Chicago, and because Governor Newsom, he was like, yo. Because the borders are like, listen, we try and get these people out of here.
Yeah.
The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is not cooperating. He's like, listen, we're gonna fight this. We're not gonna let them take our undocumented people and send them anywhere. I think Trump should just let them, bro. Don't give them any federal money as far as that stuff goes. Let them give them whatever federal money they're normally allotted. I'm not saying take any money away from them, but don't, when they come talking about hey, we need some money for this and that, don't give them nothing, bro.
Right.
Just let them keep all the undocumented people. In fact, send more there.
Right.
Like
send more and let them handle it. No, you're so right, bro. They were already entertaining this bill. It never passed, but the bill where they were trying to give like undocumented immigrants like home loans, like grants to buy homes.
Right.
And people were just like, "What, bro?" Like,
yeah.
So California's trying to do some interesting things with the undocumented immigrants there. So. Yeah, let them handle it. Let them put that on their bill. Let them give those resources to them and take it away from like actual citizens, actual Californians, like, and see how that makes people feel. Let them do it. Let them do it,
Let them
bro.
do it. Mayor Johnson said the same thing. Oh, we not letting them take our people. Trump, do not give them no more money. Let them rock out. Be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You already ain't got no money. You already begging the city to the city to raise property taxes $300 million. Like, you are already broke. You got a $1 billion deficit coming in the next year, coming into 2025.
Right.
Same thing. But guess who not saying nothing? He like, listen, I'm gonna let them do what they gonna do. Governor Adams. Mayor Adams in New York. He like, listen, if that's what they gonna do, that's what they gonna do. Like, he's not fighting it. He's like, listen, this is a problem. I'm not trying to deal with this. Someone please help me. I need help. Remember the John the Chappelle meme from what's the movie he smoked weed all the time?
Half baked.
He's like, God, if you listening, help. So, yeah, that's Governor. That's Mayor Adams, bro. He like, help, like. So let them have all the immigrants, but just send them there, no matter where they come from. Like, listen, we'll give y'all this, we'll give y'all that. Put them in buses, put them on planes, send them to California, send them to Illinois, send them to Massachusetts. Just send them there, bro, and just don't give them no money. Let them figure it out.
Man, it's unsustainable. It's gonna be a nightmare. It's not sustainable. It's gonna get ugly really quickly. So we'll see, bro. Listen, let's see what happens in 2020. We're gonna keep talking about immigration because there are gonna be more things coming up as the year progresses. So let's see what happens in 2025, man.
Let us know what y'all think, family. Y'all can see I'm all sweating and shit. I'm like, this is a topic that makes me hot and bothered. Like, I'm hot right now.
I got them in his guest room, like they chilling in his house right now. Like,
like, I'm fighting for parking spots every time I park with a migrant and shit, like, whatever you call it, illegal. I don't know. I don't even know if that's an offensive phrase now. I don't even know. But let us know what y'all think, family. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.
Until next time.